What's up, guys? Sub-Zerek here. Today, we're going to VOD review what probably was the most insane game of the Vegas Open. If you watched live, you probably know what game I'm talking about. And if you did not watch live, or if you have not watched the VODs already, then just sit back and watch this game. It was absolutely nuts to watch. Watching it in person, the crowd was just absolutely losing it round after round after round after round. This game was probably the biggest advocate for checkmate that we could ever get, as you'll see as we get into the game. Just to set the stage, we have 4 people in check at this point. If you guys don't know checkmate format, basically these 4 people have amassed enough points where if they win this game, they win the entire tournament. 2 NA players and 2 EMEA players, Casey Double and Kevin Parker, the EMEA players, and Broccoli and Ashmu are the NA players. So yeah, this was a really intense game because if half of the lobby wins, then we go home. And this was game 5. The lobby could have even been over by game 4. I didn't review game 4, but game 4 is actually a really close game as well. Maybe we'll go back and review that as well. Let me know, because I know there's a new patch that just came out today. But I still wanted to VOD review these games from the Vegas Open because they were so nuts, and this was one of TFT's biggest events. Just, flying around, looking at everybody's augments. I see a patient study, which is obviously really, really strong. Stars Are Born is absolute trash, but hey, they buffed it in this patch, so I hope to see it be taken more. Sleight of Hand and Vampirism, both very, very strong. Gargantuan Resolve, really, really like mediocre, but good in very specific spots. That's Jazz Baby. I think this is what Ashmu ends up taking here. Yes, that's Ashmu takes that's Jazz Baby here, which I do think is a really, really strong augment if it's your first augment and you can just play toward it. And then like this spot doesn't look amazing. Inspiring Epitaph, Vampirism, both really, really solid. We see the attack speed augment here, Know Your Enemy over here. Vampirism here, Epitaph, like I was talking about, the Gargantuan, like I said. Yeah, that's Jazz Baby. I'm quite sure that this was Ashmu's board, and yeah, you can see everything that was taken over here. Caretakers is really strong as well. So all high tier augments, I would say, with the execute there's a word without our Gargantuan Resolve, but exception. That's not a very hard word, I would say. With the exception of Gargantuan Resolve, I love watching Ashmu, man. Maybe I can move my head down here. Maybe I'll just make myself... Oh, yeah, I'm down to do this, honestly, so you can see Ashmu up there, because, like, my god, this Ashmu guy, it's literally round 1, and he is already losing his mind. Honestly, my head here kind of works. The only problem is I'm, like, tiny, but, like, it's not that... I mean, it's kind of nice, right? Like, I'll just, like, go down here, be, like, an okay size. I'm just blocking their ad for Vegas Open, which, like, I'm sorry, Riot Games, but, like, I want people to be able to see everything. Oh, this is, like, way better, isn't it? And then you can see all the players. Okay, in any case, all really solid augment starts. Like we talked about in the last game, we see Broccoli already off to an early loss streak. Ashmu also with this That's Jazz Baby isn't going to sort of be able to play a strong board for a long time. I think we can sort of focus on the That's Jazz Baby, because I do think that is one of the big stories of this game, is Ashmu taking That's Jazz Baby, because I don't know if there are a lot of believers in this augment, honestly. I think, my god, this Ashmu guy, it's 2-3, man, and he's losing his mind. Funny story, I was out with, like, Kai and some other people, and we were just, like, walking around. We'd gotten, like, dinner and done shots, which also, like, I'm so bad at doing shots, it's actually horrible. I'll talk about that later. But we were, like, walking back from one of the hotels, and somebody, like, was like, oh, Sub-Zero, and I turned around. This is at the end of this is like night 2 going into day 3, and I turn around and it's Ashmu, and I'm like, oh shit, what's up, man? He's like, we did it, man, we did it. We're going to the finals. And I'm like, dude, good luck, man. I'm rooting for you. I had met Ashmu the day before. Super nice guy. So I was absolutely rooting for him in the finals. And, in this game, if he won it, that would be the end of the tournament. So yeah, I do think it is important, though, to talk to That's Jazz Baby and just the idea behind it. Obviously, it was really, really broken on the previous patch, and then they nerfed it going into this patch. It's still quite strong. What you pretty much always want to play towards is that super fan plus jazz board, because it just fits so well. You can fit so many traits in. At level 7, you can fit in the 7 traits that gives That's Jazz the all of the increase in stats. So, it goes HP, and then it goes attack speed, and then AD and AP, I believe. In any case, you get to the 3rd tier of it when you have 7 traits in, and you can get that in at level 7 with you know, just the super fans plus Kaisa plus Jazz, and then the Echo as well. So that's really what you want to play toward. The other thing, though, is that there's sort of two options when you play that Jazz. You can play towards the MF carry or the Bard carry. You already saw in Ashmu's spot, he already had at least one Bard, and he ends up amassing a lot of Bards by the end of this stage. We can sort of, you can already, if we go to Ashmu, yeah, you can see there, it was really quick, but I'll show again. He has a Bard 2 on his bench at the end of stage 2, and this is not a headliner Bard 2. This is just a straight up Bard 2. You can also see that Ashmu maintained this 5 loss streak, and then there you go, he absolutely pops off. He gets the headliner Bard in his shop, so he has 7 Bards. He has 7 Bards at 2-7. So Ashmu, I mean, and you can see from his player cam, he is losing his mind, because this is an incredible spot to be in. And also, not to mention, he gets dropped Nico and he gets dropped Echo from minions. His spot is disgusting. He has Heartsteel in for that cash out, and then he's going to ideally pivot into the Superfan board. The only scary thing about Ashmu's spot actually is that he doesn't have a lot of these Superfan units, right? He has the Nico, but he doesn't have the 1 cost. And hitting 2-star 1 cost Superfans like the Lilia 2 and the Kennen 2 is actually really important. The other thing to talk about here is this itemization here. These are not amazing Bard items. You really want Bard to just be casting as much as possible here. Deathcap is a fine Bard item. I was sitting in the crowd and someone behind me was like, oh, we could go Gwinsu, but do not go Gwinsu on this Bard unit. It is very bad because he spends so long casting that you're going to have like almost negative stacks by the end of the fight. So, you know, he obviously makes the death cap here, and the other obvious option is something like a Shojin, potentially, out of that sword, and then he's going to have the Superfan item, of course, so he's going to have the Adaptive Helm, which is his Superfan item. On board with Kevin Parker here, who has this interesting setup. I saw so many cool games where people carried like weird items on Urgot, like this Morello, you know, people putting just like anything on Urgot. I think he is a very, very strong item holder early. So oh, and now down here, I don't even have to move because you get to see everything. Oh, this is genius placement. I'm going to do this every time I do a VOD review for this tournament, though this might be the last one. Tell me if you guys want to see more. Ashmu up here ends up actually, he has a pretty interesting choice. Like the Magic Wand is not amazing. I think Know Your Enemy is actually not bad because it gives you, because you have so many traits in, like you have Sentinel, you have Guardian in, it's very often that you're going to have this. He gets offered 2 healthy as well, which I don't think is great in this comp, right? No, yeah, you're basically playing Bard, and I think Bard and Kaisa, and that's like basically it. We see some immediate rips. The Rich Get Richer here from KC Double. I can't tell what that is because it's too small. I can't tell what a lot of these are because they're too small. I didn't look at them already, but we had a Last Stand as well. But as you see here, he takes the golden ticket. What was his other option? Oh, LDP? I don't think his other options were great. It's just a little bit scary, right, to go for this golden ticket because especially in a lobby like this, you need to win, right? Your only goal if you're an Ashmu spot here is to win this game, and golden ticket caps you out a little bit artificially high if you can't hit your entire board really quickly. But as you see here, I'm sort of talking like what I was talking to earlier. He pivots the board, but you know, if he had at this point Kennen 2, Lilia 2, he could probably sit on this board for a few rounds, but he doesn't have any of that, so he kind of has to roll a bit here and try to find the Lilia and ideally like the Kennen 2. You know, if he gets Lilia and Kaisa in, then his board gets that 5 traits in, which is really, really, really nice because then he gets to start stacking up his Bard, but it's kind of hard to fit it all because I believe, yeah, this is only 4 traits, and the only way to actually get 5 in here. Oh, no, you cut the Kaisa, yeah. You cut the Kaisa here, you fit, no, you can't cut Kaisa, right? You have to cut MF for Lilia, and that's the only way to get 5 traits in here, I believe, because Echo is 2 traits. Echo is true damage, and he's going to be Sentinel. You're 3 trait, you're 3 trait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to cut this. I don't think you can cut Kaisa, because this is just, oh yeah, because we're Jazz chosen as well. If we were Dazzler chosen, then it'd be a little bit different. But yeah, as you can see here, he's like a really awkward spot where he has to roll a lot. He doesn't find a Lilia yet, but he needs to roll here. And I think the casters at this point were talking about the fact that he rolled so deep in this position, and they were saying like, oh, I don't really like that he rolls this deep here, but this is a comp where you need to get the 5 trait on as early as possible and start stacking. Also, he's 1 off Bard, so I absolutely agree that like he should roll here. He finally finds the Lilia here, which is a big upgrade, and then at this point, I think you just roll it down to 20. He does, I would say, roll pretty deep here, because once you get the 5 trait online, I think it's pretty reasonable to stop. You are 1 off Bard, and I think, you know, he's really feeling it, so he feels the need to roll down. I'd probably stop at 20 gold here, I think. I don't know. Curious to hear what Ashmu, because Ashmu talked a lot about this game on like Twitter and stuff, and like probably on his stream as well. I watched some of his stream the other day, which you guys should definitely go check out Ashmu. I guess the sort of awkward thing is he does roll down to 20, but then he finds this Nico, and then not only does this Nico put him below 20, so now he can't actually get up to above 20, but now he's pair. So now you probably I can't criticize this play. The only thing that you could possibly criticize is rolling below 20, but he ends up hitting the Bard on his final roll, or below 10, but he ends up hitting the Bard on his final roll. So you look at Ashmu's spot. He's in an amazing spot now, right? He, like I said, he managed to find the Lilia, so he's assuaged that problem. Am I using that word correctly? So, you know, like he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. He's taking a decent loss here on the 8 loss streak. I'm going to 1 unit loss. There's completely fine. And, you know, you would say like, okay, he hit everything. Why isn't he winning? Well, 1, this comp is very frontline reliant. The more frontline you have for this Bard, the better. And 2, it's a scaling augment, right? He took a scaling augment and sort of an econ augment. So it's not really surprising that, you know, he's not winning every single fight with this board. This board, you need to get it online early, which is why I was talking about like rolling for that 5 trait for the That's Jazz is really important. And now he just needs to push level 7 as soon as possible so that he can get the 7 trait in and just start, you know, start gaming on them, really. But yeah, we end up taking our board over here to this potential Senna reroll board out of 5-4-5-4. The only issue, I think, the casters were talking about this during the game, is that there are a lot of Sennas out of the pool at this point. Kind of really annoying that 5-4-5-4 is sort of natural, this amazing Senna reroll spot where he has 7 Sennas, but there's not a ton of Sennas in the pool. I just love looking at Ashmu watching him play. He was so fun to watch. I, in the audience, was like right behind him, which was a little sad because I couldn't get to see all of his face reactions, but also I could see him just like, you know, whenever he goes all the way back in his chair and stuff like that. It was fun to watch for sure. Broccoli here, also in a really good spot. And I guess now we can start talking about sort of like the big picture of this lobby, right? There's 4 people in check here: Kevin Parker, Broccoli, Double, and Ashmu. And so if we want to go to another game, we need one of the other players to win. Funny story, actually, I was almost rooting for one of these people in check to win. I was honestly rooting for Ashmu because I had to catch a flight in like 3 hours and I didn't know how long the Vegas airport was going to take in security. So I was really like, oh, I kind of hope like we don't go to like, you know, 8 games or something like that, because I would have to either miss the game or miss my flight if it went that late. So I was actually I was kind of rooting for an ending in this game or the next game so that I didn't have to miss my flight. But yeah, we see Kevin Parker pivoting into this almost country board, but then he hits the Chosen Yone, which I think is really smart. He has the Salvagement Augment, which is going to make for a very dizzy game of TFT, but also allow him to make a ton of Titans resolves and just go for like Giga BIS on everyone. And he has a pretty nice board here. This is really good like control, knowing how much to roll in this spot here. He's 86 HP, he's 50 gold. He can just easily push fast 8. Okay, I kind of hate this song and how much it's like tapping. I'm gonna skip the rest of it. Final augment here, and the other big sort of story that I want to talk about, and we tabbed over to Humbug's board for a second, and yeah, we're coming back online with Humbug here. This is Humbug's spot. And talking more about Humbug's spot, Humbug had a very, very bad start to the tournament. You can see down here 7 points, and this is after game 4. This is game 5, and he has 7 points. Obviously, in TFT, you know, if you're not familiar with scoring system, you get 8 points for a first, 1 for an 8th. So after 4 games, he is 7 points. That's, averaging what, like a little bit worse than a 7th, right? Because if you went 7-7-7-7, you'd be 8 points. So his games in the tournament so far have been very, very unfortunate. And you look at his spot here, and it's horrifying, right? Not only, by the way, is his spot scary because he's so low. He does have last stand, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But he rolled a good bit on 8 here and didn't really find much. And then he opted to not even roll deeper on 8 and say, you know what, I'm going to try to go 9 from this spot. This is a play that I wouldn't recommend. Don't do this at home, kids. He's 43 gold here. He doesn't really have the gold to reliably go 9. And honestly, if he doesn't kill an extra unit in this fight here, because, yeah, he ends up killing that Lilia there. If he doesn't kill this Lilia here, because he goes down to 2 HP, last stand would have been procced here. And I'm pretty sure his game and his entire tournament is over in this position. He does end up actually killing that Lilia there, which gives him 2 HP, which is actually huge in this position because it nets him an extra life. Now he has an extra round that he can sack for last stand, for the patient study, which will give him more XP and allow him to push 9, because at this point he's just said, hey, you know what? I'm probably losing this game if I'm rolling more on 8th from this amount of HP. My only out at this spot is to go 9. And I think maybe he could have rolled it deeper on 8 and found like a slightly more stable board and then gone 9 at a more reasonable interval, but he rolled a lot and didn't really find much, and it's just an unfortunate spot that Humbug was in. But now we can start watching Humbug. He really wants to pick up that Sona, but sadly it gets taken by 5454 or Zaza. I don't know why exactly 5454 is Zaza, but like maybe that's like, I don't know. Someone in the comments will tell me why. But yeah, we in Humbug's spot, he's gotta just send it at this point. As you can see here, he goes 9. The casters finally pivot over to him. I was like, kind of like, oh, they're trolling. Why didn't they pivot over to him? And he finds a Chosen Poppy, which is actually a really, really nice unit to sort of solidify his board for a little while. You'll see he's not actually selling this Chosen Poppy because he knows, like, if I sell this Chosen Poppy, I'm dead. Like, there's no way that, like, I need this tank to help stabilize my board. Also, really unfortunate, he tries to reforge this Cloak last second. He has no units on bench, so he has to do it on the unit on board, but he actually does not have enough time, and so he doesn't reforge this Cloak. If this had hit, like, a glove item for Ziggs, you know, he could have put it on there. I was also a bit surprised about itemizing the Ziggs here. I probably would have thought about just itemizing, like, Shojin on the Jin here, but I think he just wants to consolidate items. You will see really, really close fight, and Humbug does end up winning it here. So that is the start of it. Looking over to Ashmu's board, by the way, 5 streak here. He's absolutely, I mean, you can see he is praying that he wins this next fight, because if he keeps his 5 streak here, his spot is really, really solid. He's hit everything 2-starred, like I was talking about. He's fit those 7 traits in. Back over to Humbug here, though, and he's fighting Ashmu. They end up fighting each other. Other fun fact, these guys are homies. Like, they know each other. So, you know, the fact that they're fighting each other for, you know, Humbug's tournament life and Ashmu's streak, absolutely insane. And look how close this fight is. My God, Humbug just barely makes it through. You like this fight almost, like, a few fight RNG things go slightly differently, and Humbug would have died there, and Ashmu would have won the fight, kept his streak, and honestly, probably, I mean, we'll talk about the rest of the game as it comes, but yeah, I mean, not too much that Ashmu actually could have done to influence the outcome of this fight, I would say. Like, his entire board is 2-star. At this point, he just has to push level 8 and look for more stuff. Item-wise here, he'd really like some frontline items, in my opinion, but he just doesn't really find anything, which is kind of unfortunate. Over to Broccoli here. Like the last game, we see Broccoli is playing for this Caitlyn, playing for basically a very similar board to the last game we reviewed, except he doesn't actually have the true damage emblem, sadly, so sorry for him. But over to Humbug, he's hit the Twisted Fate 2-star. He's holding on a bunch of pairs. He's continued to roll on 9, and still he's just stuck on this Poppy, because if you sell this Poppy and you miss, you're just immediately dead and your game's over. He's made double JG Ziggs, which is honestly not even bad. Double JG is actually kind of fine with the changes to JG here. And here it is. Here's the beginning of Humbug's comeback. He rolls there and hits the Chosen Yorick in his shop. Huge hit here, because that can actually really, really start to stabilize his board. Fun fact, by the way, for the people who were watching at home and maybe you couldn't hear the audio, I don't know what it was like on the stream, but my God, the sound in this stream, every single time they would pivot to Humbug, people would go crazy every single time we want to fight, just because, you know, TFT, we love a comeback story. We love seeing someone who, you know, had such a horrible start to the tournament, you know, have a really good performance here. I'm not 100% sure about Ashmu rolling in this position. I'm curious what his take would be on it. I'm pretty sure you're meant to go 8 here, look for a Dazzler, and then roll on 8 for the Misfortune and, you know, everything 3-starred. Not only do you get better odds of finding your 3 costs at level 8, but you also get much better odds of finding, like, a Ziggs, which is, like, the number one thing you want there. Big win from Humbug there. 4 streak, maybe 5 streak? Yeah, 5 streak there from Humbug. Gets whatever he wants on this carousel, which, you know, I think he would like the Kiana, but can't get it. Just wants to go for a Yorick item, which ends up being the Warmogs, which is, you know, fine. I think he would have liked, like, a BT or a Titans or something like that. But yeah, like, Humbug in this spot actually is starting to approach really, really high capped TFT. You know, he's hitting all of his upgrades. He just needs to find some 2-star 5 cost to play around to make his board actually strong. We're also going to see a couple of pivots here from both Kevin Parker and from Malala. Really, really cool stuff. Kevin Parker basically full pivoting his entire board at 9, trying to find stuff to put in. A little bit, you know, like a few things definitely he would want to get off of his board or get onto his board, but that's all right. And he's fighting KC Double here, who actually is a really, really strong true damage board. Kevin Parker is alive, so it's, you know, all right. He's not dead there, but still a bit scary. Ashm ends up taking someone out, and yeah, as you can see, rolling a good bit here on 7, and like honestly just losing his mind. He has the Echo, he has the Misfortunes, and he has the Nikos. But yeah, I would think actually you would want to just push 8 on this board, right? Like he's seen all these Luxes in shops. Dazzler for Bard is really, really nice. Just push 8 and then find everything on 8. I think maybe he was thinking that, you know, like if he does that, he might not find everything 3-star, but I think with the golden ticket, you're quite likely to hit everything 3-star. Also, perhaps he wanted to roll while these units are all in the pool. Back on board with Humbug, you can see here he's slowly building his board out. 1-off Misfortune 3 for Ashmu, by the way. All of this rolling has paid off a decent bit in that he is 1-off Misfortune, and he is 3 off of the other main tanks, which would be huge to take here. Bramble Vest, a really, really solid tank item here, just because we need some tank stats onto this Echo. He's a really, really solid tank. With all this gold, we're all but guaranteed to hit Misfortune, and he does end up hitting it here and then immediately sends it to 8, which I like a lot here. He fits Gnar in here, and I think Ashmu would say that this was a mistake. He plays the Gnar here over the Twisted Fate. Not only is TF one more trait, which I don't think really matters that much on Ashmu's board, but the big thing is it's Dazzler for his Bard 3, whereas, you know, the 4 Superfan onto Gnar 3, really not very relevant. The HP is not amazing. Another elimination for Humbug here. Humbug gets a kill here on 6-1. He's still alive. And every time you see that Teemo cutscene, it was just everyone was absolutely losing their mind. You see here now 5 people eliminated, and we're on to our final 3: Ashmu, Malala, and Humbug. If Ashmu wins out this game, the tournament's over. He wins $100,000. If either Malala or Humbug win this game, we go on to a game 6. This puts Malala in check, I think guaranteed. Humbug actually, sadly, with 7 points, even if he wins this game, still isn't in check, which is insane. But he does kill off Malala here, at least going to accrue some more points and put himself in a spot to, you know, decide his own destiny here. You see a decent amount of rolling here from Ashmu. Now, the issue in Ashmu's spot, actually, is that now that all these people are dead, a lot more 3-costs are back in the pool. What 3-costs are actually out of the pool? Well, Humbug has, you know, like a 2-star set, but that's actually like basically it. And then all the 3-stars that Ashmu has out of the pool. Now, you might say that, you know, like Humbug always wins this fight. You know, he's last stand 5-cost capped board, but that's Jazz Baby is very. It is a strange augment, I would say. As you could see in that fight, Ashmu did end up losing, but it was actually very, very close. It's that's Jazz Baby augment is actually kind of insane. And you'll see here another point that I think a lot of people talked about, which is, okay, so Ashmu opts to go 9 here. He can fit in Lucian with going 9 here, but that means he gives up the ability to go for 3-star 3-costs. And I know the logic from Ashmu's position here is that, like I was talking about, there's so many 3-costs that are not out of the pool. It's just this set and this Mordekaiser, and that's basically it. So like there's so many 3-costs in the pool, is I guess the way to talk about it, that it's actually sort of unlikely for you to hit something like Echo 3. The main thing, though, is that, like, getting this Lucian in here, you know, getting 4 Jazz, it definitely benefits the board a bit, but, like, I feel like Echo 3 absolutely is one of the big things that swings the fight. The other thing is that, yeah, like, Dazzler here, just so important in fights like this. You also, I'm sorry for that, that's my phone going off. At least it's not vibrating anymore. I changed it to the Stardew Valley notification sound. You guys like that? But yeah, he's just rolling down here, really trying to find a Ziggs. Gets an Alawi in at the last second here. The tentacles don't get to move, but, you know, at least it's a little bit more frontline. So this is going to be the final fight for everything. The crowd absolutely losing their minds. Everyone standing up just to watch this final fight. You see Ashmu's frontline kind of crumbles pretty quickly, but the Bard is still alive. He gets one more cast off. He gets one more cast off after that, just barely, but does not finish it. And it's a dub for Humbug. I mean, an absolutely insane game. You see, that was Noel there who gave the high five to Humbug because Noel was not in check at this point. He was like, thank you for keeping this game going. Humbug absolutely losing his mind. I was also sitting right in front of all the lab members. Yeah, I was like in the row right in front of all these guys, and they were losing their minds because Humbug is a member of lab. But yeah, as you can see, just like absolutely all of them losing their minds. This is Cramsy, my double here, the bald member of the lab. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was absolutely a treat to watch. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.